about you and him.
He really knows the routine.
You know, everybody knows about the medical stuff that we do, and it's amazing, and we save lives all the time. But I don't think people fully realize that the behavior animals were actually saving their lives too, because those animals would not get the sort of time, attention, love, and sometimes even years that it takes to make sure that those animals are finally ready to find their happily ever afters.
One of our longest terms, Mister, he's an adult dog that we've had for a couple of years at least. He's very selective with who he likes, so most of the staff, like the animal care team, are able to handle him. He loves the trainers, he loves his bacon treats, so that helps make friends with him. But there is one volunteer, Paul, who is Mister's bestie.
He kind of knows how things are done.
We're super cute together. Paul will walk him first thing when he comes in for his shifts, and then last thing. It's always his last walk of the night, so when I'm driving home, it's always Mister and Paul out on the road. But yeah, it's a very special bond that they have.
This is one of our stops, right? This is one of our stops.
In the beginning, I walked him because he was so strong. I could handle his muscle. And I don't remember how long it was. It changed from me walking him because he's so strong and some of the other volunteers don't want to deal with him to I really bonded with him, and now I walk him because I love him, you know. But yeah, this is one of our spots. Sometimes he'll sit with me a little bit here, and sometimes it's just a few seconds and he's ready to boogie again.
Paul is here like 4 days a week. He volunteers sometimes 6-8 hour shifts. Sometimes he's here longer than me. But because he's here so often, he's been able to gain that bond with Mister.
You can't spend the amount of time that I do and not bond with him.
I don't know, what goes on in his mind. I mean, he knows that I walk him, as opposed to a lot of other volunteers that just walk by his cage and do nothing.
I love seeing Mr. and Paul sitting outside this building because the bond is amazing. And I think that the one thing people don't talk a lot about in the shelter system is that behavior animals are some of the most at risk. In shelters across the country, they are actually the #1 animals that end up being euthanized because shelters usually don't have the time to work with those animals. But if we can work with those animals through our training and then with these amazing volunteers that see these animals every day and start to see them come out of their shell, it really is one of the most beautiful things that we get to see here each day. And Paul and Mister are one of the best examples of that I've ever seen.
And now we're going to see, probably he's going to drop anchor because we're coming to the admin building, and he likes to camp out here.
Right in front of the door, which we're...
I'm the only person that will probably say this, but I consider him a pretty mellow dog. I mean, you're walking dogs lots of times and they're jumping up on you, and he doesn't do anything like that. All he does is pull a little bit.
He does get along with other dogs. Not all dogs. You can't take him to the dog park, turn him loose, and just think everything's going to be hunky-dory. He loves laying in the grass. He loves rolling in the grass.
But eventually, he's just sitting by your side. And I think that in the house, he could sit on the couch and watch TV with you. Like I said, he's a fairly mellow dog as far as he's content to be with the person that he likes.
So the day he goes home, how do you think you're going to feel?
Oh, it's going to be sad.
Yeah.
It's going to be sad. But, I mean, as long as he goes to a good home, that's all you really want.